Hello and happy Purple Friday. This week on Truman Tech Breaks, we're going to go ahead and continue our instruction on Zotero. Now last week we talked about how we can add sources to Zotero and insert those sources into our papers. This week I'm going to talk a little bit on how to create libraries, how we can then sync all of our data, and also how we can create groups and share our data amongst those groups. Alright, so first we're going to go ahead and talk about how to create libraries and how those can be helpful for us. Now, as you can see here, I am on the My Library tab, and you can see all of the sources that I synced last week. Now, this is a little bit messy of a way to do this, especially if you're going to have multiple projects, so it might be easier if I have another project I'm working on, let's say folklore. I'm going to go ahead and go up to this folder up here with the green plus sign on it to create a new folder. And since this is a folklore project, we'll go ahead and name it something that we would associate with it. Folklore is fine. Alright, so now we have a new folder, so now when I sync something, it should go directly into my folklore folder, since that's what's selected over here, as opposed to any other library. So let's go ahead and show you how that works. Here we have some folklore, Irish folklore sources synced up here. We'll go ahead and grab a couple of them. Click OK, and it'll take a second, but there they go, right in the folklore folder, and only these will appear in there, nothing from any other library. Alright, now that we have talked about libraries, we can go ahead and discuss syncing a little bit. Now, syncing basically allows you to upload your sources to the Zotero server with your account, and then you'll be able to access online any of your sources from basically any computer or device that can connect to the internet. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to set up a Zotero account. It's quick, free, and easy, and I discuss a little bit how to do it in my first video from last week. So go ahead and check that out if you haven't set up a Zotero account yet. Then once you've done that and you have a Zotero account, go ahead and click on this cog up here. You'll get a little drop-down menu and click on Preferences. In this window, there's multiple tabs. Make sure you click on the Sync tab. Enter your Zotero username and password. Make sure that Sync Automatically is clicked. That'll sync it once every several minutes. Then go ahead and click OK. Okay, so now that you have syncing enabled, it'll sync automatically for you. And just to be sure, whenever you add a source, you might want to go ahead and click this little green arrow that's bent around here. It says the last sync was 4 minutes ago. We can go ahead and sync right now by clicking on it. Alright, and that ensures that all of our sources now are once again synced with the Zotero servers. So to go ahead and check on that, let's go ahead and open Safari. Here we are on Zotero. Now, if we were on the home page, it would look like this. To go to My Library, we can click on the My Library tab, and there you see all of the sources right there, just like they would be on the software. Now the cool thing is you do not need the software on a device to be able to look at this as long as you log in with your Zotero account. There's a couple different kinds of syncing. There's data syncing, which is basically there's not really that much storage used, so you have pretty much unlimited data syncing, and that's just various sources. There's also file syncing, and that would be if there was a PDF, for instance, attached to one of your files, and everybody gets 300 MB for free for file syncing. There's multiple packages that you can buy for more storage space for file syncing if that's something that you'd be interested in. Alright, we're also going to discuss a little bit about groups today. Now with groups, you are able to basically share files amongst multiple people. For instance, if multiple people were working on a group paper, they would be able to share their files with each other, look them over, and use each other's sources in different parts of the paper. So to start a group, go ahead and click on this little icon up here with a blue person and a green person. And that'll bring you to your Zotero account. You may have to log in if you aren't already. And go ahead and choose a name for your group. We'll just call this Truman Tech Breaks. Alright, so this will be our group URL right here. And there's a couple different types of memberships here. First is private membership. That's basically the group has no public face, only the members will even be aware of it. And obviously then only members would be able to contribute or view it. Public closed membership would be anyone can view your group and your sources, but individuals have to be invited or request an invite to be able to participate in it. And finally, there's public open membership, and basically anybody can join that group if you have that open. File sharing is not available for any of the open groups, which, for obvious reasons, if you've seen our video on viruses and Trojans, that's a very good thing. We don't want just anybody to be able to upload files to your computer that you might open up. Okay, so for this group, let's go ahead and make it a private membership. Alright, now we have some settings here that we can go through. So we want to stay private, that's fine. Any group member can read it, that's fine. I'm not really sure why anyone on the internet would be able to even see it if it was private. Now here we can choose our editing, whether any group member can edit or only admins. And the same with file editing as well. And we'll save those settings. Alright, now we can check out our member settings. Okay, here I can send invitations, and we can use email addresses or Zotero usernames depending on what you know, and just a personal message if you want to remind them who's sending the invitation, for instance, in case you think they might not be familiar with your email account. Additionally, you can update roles. For instance, I am the owner of this group, so I would obviously have admin privileges. We can also, let's see if I'm able to right now. Okay, I can't really add anyone else yet, but I could make different people either simply admins, or I could also make them just simply members of the group. Whereas you remember from earlier, admins would have a little bit more editing privileges depending on what the settings of the group would be. Okay, so once we have some groups set up, we should be able to have different group libraries. Right now we don't really have anything in ours right now, but if we were going to add to it, we would have sources there. So students or teachers would be able to click on those sources and see what their teammates were working on, and if that might be beneficial to their particular topic as well. Alright, so that should be about all we're covering for Zotero this week. Once again, if you have any questions, please forward them to ltt@truman.edu, or you can contact me at tfitzler@truman.edu. Thanks, and have a good weekend.